You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly.
Good afternoon, everyone. I now call to order the meeting of the directors of the Empire State New Market Corporation for Monday, June 24th, 2024. I'd like to know for the record, one, that my name is Kevin Eunice and I'm the COO with Empire State Development, and that this meeting is being webcast and I will be the acting chair for today's meeting. Also note for the record that the public was given the opportunity to comment on the agenda items by submitting their written comments by 4:30 p.m. Friday. I'd like to state that no comments were received from the public concerning today's agenda items. The directors have received the relevant materials in advance of today's meeting and are free to ask questions at any time. Before beginning with the substantive portion of today's meeting, I'd ask the directors whether anyone has any potential conflict of interest with regard to any of the items on the agenda. If so, please make an appropriate disclosure on the record at this time, and we will be sure that you recuse yourselves from any vote or discussion with respect to such item or items. All right, hearing none. The first item of today's agenda is the approval of the minutes from March 18th, 2024 directors meeting. Are there questions, comments, additions, or deletions on those minutes? If not, I would entertain a motion for approval.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. The motion carries. I would now call upon John Evan Hornsby to present the final item on today's agenda, a request for authorization to adopt the general project plan and make a sub-allocation as it relates to the Bagopa project. John Evan.
Thank you, Kevin, and good morning, all. Empire State New Market Corporation requests approval to allocate up to $8 million in federal New Markets tax credits for the purpose of enabling the subsidiary community development entity to make small loans in the amount of $4 million or less as defined by the CDFI fund to two separate borrowers to finance the renovation, inventory, and or equipment purchases at two Bogota sites excuse me, in the Bronx and East New York, Brooklyn, and to delegate authority to the president of ESNMC and his designee to take any and all actions with respect to such allocation of NMTCs, the final terms of the transaction documents, and the closing of the transaction. The project sponsor, Bogota Enterprises, Inc., is a minority, family-owned company that started in 1958 by catering to lower-income, densely populated areas that did not have access to grocery stores and continues to serve these communities today, which include some of the most diverse neighborhoods in New York City. Bogota now operates 32 full-service supermarkets serving New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut. The supermarkets operate under the Food Bazaar brand. The project consists of the renovation, inventory, and or equipment purchases for two Bogota sites in highly distressed, low-income communities in the Bronx and East New York, Brooklyn. For the Bronx location, ESNMC will provide up to $4 million in NMTC allocation to finance the purchase of inventory and equipment for an existing outdated 37,000 square foot grocery store. For the East New York, Brooklyn location, up to $4 million in NMTC allocation will be provided to finance the renovation of, purchase of inventory and equipment for, and replacement of the roof at a 110,000 square foot warehouse that serves the Bogota grocery stores. The grocery store is in an NYC fresh zone. These zones were established to encourage stores in underserved communities to provide a full range of grocery products, including fresh meat, fruit, and vegetables. The proposed financing is recommended for multiple reasons. The investment is generally consistent with ESMC's strategy proposed to the CFI fund. Part of ESNMC's strategy for its $50 million 2022 NMTC allocation is to invest in transactions that create and retain quality jobs by growing the manufacturing, warehousing, and distribution base, and that increase access to essential goods and services, especially in communities of color that have faced decades of underinvestment. ESNMC also indicated that it would dedicate 38% or $19 million of its NMTC award to finance non-real estate uses such as machinery and equipment, inventory, and related costs. In addition, ESNMC committed to dedicating at least 20% or $10 million of its NMTC award to make small loans, those of $4 million or less, to businesses. This project fits well with this strategy as it brings quality food options to underserved low-income communities that are located in NYC fresh zones, as the Bronx store is located in a fresh zone, retains quality and accessible jobs by growing the warehousing and retail operations, will allow ESNMC to provide $4 million of NMTC allocation to finance non-real estate uses, fulfilling the non-real estate requirement, and both loans are small loans that are $4 million or less, fulfilling 16% of the 20% small loan requirement. In addition to meeting the requirements of ESNMC's business strategy, the investment allows ESNMC to deploy an additional 16% of its 2022 NMTC allocation, or 38% total. The project's community outcomes are compelling and are consistent with ESNMC's NMTC application and community outcome objectives. The project will retain 172 quality and accessible jobs across the two sites. All non-managerial positions are union jobs, receive comprehensive benefits, and receive on-the-job training, and all jobs are available to people without a college degree or who face other barriers to entry. The Bronx store is in an NYC fresh zone, as I mentioned previously, and will serve a total of approximately 763,000 people annually, 55% of whom are low income. Both of these locations are in highly distressed communities with significant poverty rates, low area median incomes, and high unemployment rates, and the project sponsor is minority owned. The project was recommended by the ESNMC Project Review Committee and approved by the ESNMC Advisory Board earlier this month. The directors are being requested to authorize the adoption of the proposed general project plan and make a suballocation of up to $8 million for the purposes set forth in the GPP. The directors are also being asked to delegate to one or more authorized officers of ESNMC acting in its own capacity or as managing member of the subsidiary CDE the authority to determine the terms of the NMTC transaction documents and to execute such NMTC transaction documents on behalf of ESNMC and the subsidiary CDE in connection with the closing of the NMTC transaction. Thank you, and happy to take any questions.
Thanks, Jonathan. Any questions or comments from the directors?
Just one, Jonathan.
Sure.
You mentioned a couple of times the New York City Fresh Zone. That's a city program. Excuse my ignorance. You're up in upstate, you know.
It is. It was a program that was created in 2009 by way of a study to help encourage the fresh foods in supermarkets in these type of communities.
So obviously it went into our decision making. Are there other benefits that they get from being in a fresh zone?
No, I think this is one of the primary benefits is just that the increase in type of investments like this.
Okay.
A couple of quick things. The food store and the warehouse, will they be operational while the work is done?
They will, yeah. The work will take approximately 2 months, and they'll be open and operational for that entire duration.
Okay. And in the budget for the projects, in the uses, there's a line there that says inventory. For the food store, there's about $2.8 million. For the warehouse, there's about $1 million. What would that inventory include?
Yeah, so for the Bronx store, it primarily include anything that they need for the store, which would include perishable and non-perishable items. Part of our requirement with the CDFI fund is to fund these non-operating or non-real estate businesses, which include machinery, equipment, inventory, and even working capital. So this is for the daily needs of the store in order to continue operations and be sustainable.
Okay, so qualified expenses.
Yes, exactly. Yep. And for the warehouse, it's for them to be able to buy these things in bulk and cut costs. So buying inventory, mostly perishable items, meat, and dairy and seafood.
Okay, get qualified expenses.
Absolutely.
Okay, great, thank you.
Any other questions or comments? All right, I'd entertain a motion for approval.
I'll move it.
I'll second it.
Paul, did you second there?
I did.
All right, thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. The motion carries. Being no further business, Jonathan, team, thank you. I will now call for a motion to adjourn this meeting.
So moved.
Second,
So,
thank you.
all right. Thanks all.
Thank you. Take care.